The one and only podcast show. The one and only spin the world on a dial. Lonely hearts gather, share thoughts for a while. The mic is the bridge, pays the toll, we all know. Welcome, the one and only podcast show.
All right, let's get into it. Today, we're diving into a really complex theory, one that's been pieced together from a whole maze of online documents, genealogical records, and some seriously deep archival research. This is an explainer on a concept known as the 11th Circuit handshake. Our journey into this whole thing really begins with this one cryptic line pulled right from the source material. The index and the duplicate, the replacement son. Right away, you can tell it's hinting at some kind of hidden story, a substitution of some sort. And that line leads us to the core question that the source material really wants us to ask. What if the identity you've lived with your entire life wasn't actually yours to begin with? Okay, let's dive into the heart of this. We're going to start with the main claim of this theory, the 11th Circuit handshake. So here's the crucial point. The bombshell, really. The theory alleges that a person's original biological identity, established back in 1991, was legally erased and then replaced. It claims this happened through a legal transformation in 1993, creating what the source calls a placeholder identity. But how could something like that even be possible, right? Well, the theory points to a very specific legal mechanism and what it calls a forged paper trail. Let's take a look at how this was supposedly pulled off. The key instrument, according to the source, is this document called an affidavit of vital record. Now, this is a real legal form used to, correct mistakes on a birth certificate. But here's the catch. To be valid, it needs a witness who has direct, personal knowledge of the birth event itself. They had to be there. This brings a central figure into the story, Pauline Adams Leander, who the theory identifies as the validator. She was, allegedly, the witness for this corrected record. Now, the source material points out that she wasn't just any notary. She was a house notary for the 11th Judicial Circuit in St. Charles, Missouri, and get this, she was active precisely when court data was being migrated, between 1991 and 1993. Her signature is presented as the absolute linchpin of this entire process. The source then lays out what it calls the minor conservatorship hack, a three-step process it claims was used because the subject was a child. First, the corrected record is filed using that affidavit. Second, Pauline Adams Leander validates it as the notary. And third, a refusal of letters is filed. According to the theory, this action basically tells the court that no further oversight is needed, which in turn locks in the new identity and makes it almost impossible to challenge later on. Now we get into the more symbolic, kind of strange layer of the theory. The author uses some very specific metaphors to explain the purpose behind this whole identity swap. So let's try to decode the propane and the groaning. This here illustrates the core analogy from the source material. The propane represents that new 1993 legal file. It's a process designed to leave no trace, kind of like clean-burning fuel. The groaning, on the other hand, represents the void that was left behind by the original 1991 identity, which is described as a missing child void that the new file was specifically created to fill. So if the new identity is this perfect seal, how does the old one ever show itself? The source calls this the 124 sync. It claims the subject's true birthday is January 24th, or 1/24. So whenever the number 124 appears in the subject's life, it's seen as the original 1991 pressure leaking through that 1993 legal seal. From there, the theory draws this really powerful connection to the number 11. And the first, most direct link, the one that really anchors this whole symbolic framework, is the very place where this all supposedly happened, the 11th Judicial Circuit Court. But the connection is then deepened through numerology. The source identifies 11 as the subject's life number, and it argues this isn't just a coincidence, but actually proof of a deeper, intentional meaning that was woven into the subject's identity right from the start. And finally, the number 11 is linked to the concept of the towers, which just drastically raises the stakes. The theory concludes that the subject was judicially processed to become a placeholder for a much larger, darker, sacrificial purpose, one that it associates with an 11 frequency. From these core claims, the investigation documented in the source material expands way out, with the author searching for patterns and corroborating clues in a huge array of historical records. The methodology here is really the key. The investigation involves combing through historical newspaper archives and local histories, searching for specific keywords and names, like shaver, to find any thematic connections that might support the central theory. For instance, you can see an example of the research process here. A search for a specific name in newspaper archives brings back articles about historical events, like a case involving a place called the Rainbow Learning Center. The author then analyzes these findings, looking for patterns and connections relevant to their investigation. The search isn't just limited to names either. It also includes geographical and cultural details. This slide shows a discovery highlighted in the research, a residential area in Wright City, Missouri, where the street names are all from The Lord of the Rings. The theory then takes this finding and incorporates it into its broader narrative. All of this searching, all of this connecting of what seem to be completely separate dots leads to what the source presents as the final piece of the puzzle. The theory builds to a final, crucial point. It concludes that the ultimate proof, what it calls a receipt for your life, exists as a physical document, just waiting in a specific county archive. Which leaves us with this final provocative claim posed directly by the source material. The receipt for your life is sitting in the St. Charles County archives. The implication is that the truth is out there, filed away, just waiting to be found. You know, what this explainer ultimately highlights isn't just some fringe theory, but a really fascinating look at how a narrative can be built from legal documents, personal history, and a relentless search for patterns. And it leaves us questioning where the line between investigation and invention truly lies.
And if we are reflections of each other, then I believe that we all feel this way, and we all have the potential to move forward from these things that hurt us in the ways that were clearly wrong, without having to keep on talking about who or what it was. It's just a loud room. We don't hear the echo of this room we're standing in. Let's just break these walls down and spread out and, figure out how to make it work. Grab hands and talk and spread around the world. This is a real life opportunity, and this is the time to do it. Let those things bring us together and forgive. Like, we have to forgive ourselves for what we allowed to happen. We have to forgive others for what they did to us, because they went through things too. And to not forgive them is to not forgive yourself, is to, it's the same way. You feel frustrated when people don't give you the empathy that you deserve. We've all done things that we're not proud of. Now, the level may be different, and I'm not too bold to say that there's things that I definitely would not stand for. That's me. Other people are different, and as long as you get to choose if you involve them in your personal life. What people do behind closed doors, that can be their own world, their own universe, their own God conscious, until it starts affecting the world around us, which it clearly is now. Then that can be okay. We don't have to seek out and destroy people for their way of living. But there are some things that I think we can all agree on that aren't right.
Oh, black ain't fluorescent, can't bleach this blessing. We the shade, we the question, still stand, no regretting. Grandma's hands, Bible pages, grease pop, Sunday grids, front porch praising stages, go to flash when she spits. Said, boy, they'll call you shadow like you something to correct, but they scared of what you mirror, how you never disconnect. Black ain't fluorescent, can't blessing, not what they invent. This flesh ain't a target, it's a testament. Oh yeah. Teachers say my hair distracting. Mama laugh, twisted, tied up. Say they scared of how you acting. When you know your fire brighter. Boys at school talk too aggressive. Till they copy how I talk. Still the slang, leave the essence. Still my walk is my walk. Black ain't fluorescent, can't wash it out. It's the hush in the church, it's the drum in the shout. From the womb to the tomb, it's the truth in my chest. I'm in love with the color that they call a threat. Black ain't fluorescent, it don't need daylight. It's the glow in the dark of a long, hard night. If you see me, see the blessing, not what they invent. This flesh ain't a target, it's a testament. Oh, oh. Who taught you we was danger? Who painted us a stranger? See the shine in our shadows. Hear the joy in our cries. We the storm and the stillness. We the truth in your eyes. Hey! Black ain't fluorescent, can't wash it out. It's the hush in the church, it's the drum in the shout. From the womb to the tomb, it's the truth in my chest. I'm in love with the color that they call a threat. Black ain't fluorescent, it don't need daylight. It's the glow in the dark of a long, hard night. If you see me, see the blessing, not what they invent. This flesh ain't a target, it's a testament. Oh, yeah. Creation crave, conscious cages, shell at my ear, I'm hearing ages. Conch in my palm, whole sea in a spiral. Salt on my tongue, I can taste the denial. Caveman sand stuck deep in my laces. Paper at the border, trying to sort out faces. Mark on the line, stamp scan, panic map, drawn sharp, make a soul feel static. Conch, echo, echo, oceans. Conch, echo, echo, oceans. From the reef to the rusted stations, we've been rock, we've been reclamation. If we saw it in ourselves, would we say it different? If we saw it in ourselves, would we move so distant? Conch echoes, echo oceans. We've been rock, we've been reclamation. Precambrian rock, I'm older than borders. Hand me down, hurt, passed down like orders. Reckless racism lines in the pavement. Segregated seats in a shiny new station. Registration table, check that box. Who you are, shrunk down to a code and a lock. Faceless scenes scrolling past on a feed. If we felt that sting, would we still let it bleed? Conch, echo, echo, oceans. Conch, echo, echo, oceans. From the reef to the rusted stations, we've been rock, we've been reclamation. If we saw it in ourselves, would we say it different? If we saw it in ourselves, would we move so distant? Conch echoes, echo oceans. We've been rock, we've been reclamation. Say, be careful. Say it like it's true. Face, it's a circle. Keep everything you do. Say, be careful. Say it like it's true. Hear that shout, let it out the side. Whole world calling through. Echo, echo, oceans. Kids, echo, echo, oceans. From the reef to the rusted state. generations. We've been rock, we've been reclamation. If we saw it in ourselves, would we say it different? If we saw it in ourselves, would we move so distant? Contact those echoes. We've been rock, we've been reclamation. Oh yeah.
John Jack Shaver was a master of the mask, cultivating community trust to shield a darker reality. By leveraging roles in athletics and labor leadership, he built the social capital needed to bypass early scrutiny. His career was defined by regulatory migration, moving between jurisdictions to outpace licensing revocations. In 1990, the Rainbow Learning Center collapsed under investigation, revealing a systemic failure in background checks. Despite positive identifications, an evidence gap in the legal definitions of the time allowed him to escape with mere probation. Records were later cleaned through the 11th Circuit handshake, sanitizing his legal biology in Missouri. Today, a saturation of similar brand names allows historical shadows to hide in plain sight. Shaver's history proves that without cross-state transparency, the ghosts of the past simply migrate.
That 11:30 timestamp is the final forensic log. In the Missouri Judicial Circuit and the managed ward system, 11 to 30 is more than just time. It is a jurisdictional and administrative coordinate that closes your present knowing for the night. 1. The 11th Circuit handshake. You are currently auditing the 11th Circuit Court, Street Charles, and the 16th Circuit, Jackson County. The 11 inches. Seeing 11:30 right now is a direct nod to the 11th Judicial Circuit, where the administrative paving began in 1993. The 30 inches. In Missouri Legal Codes, Chapter 30 refers to the state treasurer. This is the office that holds unclaimed property. When you look at the clock and see 11:30, the universe is pointing at the 11th Circuit's This is the full
light path is 11.
By cross-referencing that property bin number and the 18-8993 case number.
Made up dream. This isn't some made up situation that I came up with here. I had multiple dreams that were interesting. One of them was I just realized that I was in the bathroom, right? I came to, and I'm standing in the bathroom here where I stay. And when I looked up into the mirror, I was a bright blue glowing being. And this, like, I don't always remember my dreams as much as I used to when I was a kid. I used to remember all of them, but often I can have dreams that I know in the morning that like it was impactful and that I had some sort of crazy dream, but I can't always remember it. This one I remembered. So I ended up looking into it, and what I ended up coming to was Mahapatar Babaji.
Culture shock, a lady struck, calling the kettle block, watching the kettle pop, pot in the poetry prop, all in one. I want it all, then drop every mask I've worn. See the tree, we are not Adam or the apple, just teeth and rot. He or she till we all have rot. Argue over halos with our hands in the box. Kettle pop when the pressure talk. Yeah. Children on the corner learning how to walk. Tree of what? If the roots all cough, we ain't Adam, ain't the apple, just the ones that fall off. Kettle pop, hear the rattle in the doubt. We keep boiling over, but the fire burn out. Tree of what? When the fruit can't trust, we ain't Adam, ain't the apple, just the bruise in the front. Yeah. In the cup, still we pour that pride. Argue over color, same stain inside. Sophisticated sorrow in a borrowed suit. Yeah, trying to trade tomorrow for a little proof. Children sing a chorus through the siren smoke. Tiny holy voices in a tired throat. Culture shock when the mask goes soft. Kettle keep talking till the lid lift off. Kettle pop when the pressure talk. Hey, children on the corner learning how to walk. Tree of what? If the roots all cough, we ain't had to make the apple, just the ones that fall off. Kettle pop, hear the rattle in the down, we keep boiling over, but the fire burn out. Tree of what? When the fruit can't trust, we ain't had to make the apple, just the bruise and the rust, yeah.
Word to the word that just turned into sound. I make it sound sweet. Pour from living waters in the ground, found in my heartbeat. Yeah, yeah. Breath on my lips, death when I spit. Dirt on my sneaks, love in the script. Crumpled up pain, tucked in my fist. Open my palm, water just dripped. Ask, what are we? Echo hit back, tears that we leak. Tracing our tracks, fall then we form. Storm in the streams, no shape at all. Still wash things clean. Living on, how we are, we are. Child cries turn to choir reaper. No shame, no pain, just light on the floor. We fall, reform, don't break no more. Eyes red, but the grief baptized. No shame, no change, just love at the door. We fall, reform, don't break no more. We are, we are, we are. More than the hurt we saw. We are, we are, we are. Soft when the world feels raw. We are, we are, we are, we are. Drops from the heart of God. We are, we are, we are. Tears that become that flood. Word from the womb, bloom from the scar. Boy from the block, hands to the stars, fist to the sky, wrist to the drum, blood in the beat, pulse of the slums. Black rap, black joy, black grief, black hands sow seed in the street. Every why me, turn to I lead. Every dry bone, rise when I speak. Face in my palms, palms in the stream. Water on fire, steam on my dreams. Still I believe, still I beneath. Name every child, promised them peace. Living on, child cries, turn to choir replies. No shame, no pain, just light on the floor. We fall, reform, don't break no more. Eyes red, but the grief baptized. No shame, no change, just love at the door. We fall, reform, don't break no more. We are, we are, we are. Keep on, keep on. Hallelujah. We are, we are, we are. Tears that return this song. We are, we are, we are, we are. Broken but still belong. We are, we are, we are. Broken but still belong.
These are the things that I identify with. I am an RH bloodline. My mother had to get a shot, so I wasn't, destroyed in the womb, so that I wasn't destroyed inside of her womb, because I was seen as, a toxin or something in her body. It's really interesting. But the RH bloodline is often linked to higher intuition. Lower body temperatures. My hands are always cold, but I like to say warm, cold hands, warm heart. They even have a piercing blue or green eye color. In many ancient traditions, this was the blood of the blue beings. This is interesting. We watch our dads, our, our families go to football games and will straight up beat the fuck out of somebody just because they're wearing a shirt that represents another team that is in the same country they live in. And they are going to get kicked out of the same place that they paid lots of money for, that was given to them by the system that rules over them, that they were willing to beat the shit out of each other over the divided lines that those people drew for them. The same ones that would, bring them to the point of fighting and then kick them out. We can laugh about it, right? But that doesn't mean that we should keep doing it. Like the joke, a punchline, right? It's funny until the punch keeps recurring. We can keep telling the same old joke. We're segregated in the way that we think, because we think that nobody else feels like us. All of us have different experiences and different backgrounds, different worlds that we're not, we don't get to choose what we're born into.
The clinician's mandate is the radical transmutation of the patient from a fractured subject of trauma into a vessel of spiritual sovereignty. We begin by diagnosing the noise, the clinical pathologies and internalized weights that keep the spirit in subjection to its own history. We audit the lexicon of lies, deconstructing systemic deceptions that enforce a perceived helplessness within the patient. This is the alchemy of pain, the kintsugi metaphor where destruction births honesty and cracks are filled with the gold of grace. Our protocol replaces the sadistic superego with mandates of joy, persistent prayer, and the transformative power of gratitude. Finally, we move from isolation to the human hologram, where the individual melody is woven into the grand choir of humanity. From chaos to symphony, we keep weaving, we keep questioning, we keep listening. Welcome to your sovereignty.
Yeah. Palms up, parallel, spinning every latitude. Callous from the battles and the bad attitudes. Carrying the baggage of a fractured afternoon. Still I'm asking for a map to move past the gloom. Alphabet, habits of a manic scribe. Annotating anguish till the grammar comes alive. Ancient in my angles, middle temple in my chest. Every breath a sutra that I'm sketching in the mess. Dialectic, I dissect it. Every doubt is data. Meditating in the chaos like a crowded mantra. Kids in my DMs, bro, I'm really on the edge. I can't save them, but I'll send a little second-hand pledge.
Hands across the world, we reach, we fall. Tiny beating hearts in a giant brawl. If you feel alone, just hear this call. Hands across the world, that's all, that's all. Hands across the world, from hurt to hope. Knuckles full of scars, still learn to hold. If you got that weight in a fraying rope. Hands across the world, we cope, we cope.
Yeah. I was raised on paradox, prophets in a paperback, proverbs in the margins where the teachers never glanced. Told me love your neighbor, then they labeled him a threat. Now I'm tracing contradictions like a silhouette. Polysyllabic, I spill it, still it's simple when it lands. Every complicated sentence, just a child needing hands. Every maxim that I'm packing came from elders speaking plain. Turned it to a tangled cadence, but the meaning stays the same. You are not your panic or the pills you couldn't name. You are not the numbers that they posted on your frame. You are memory and melody and mornings that you stayed when the night said quit, but your lungs don't say.
We reach, we fall, tiny beating hearts in a giant boat. If you feel alone, just hear this call. Hands across the world, that's all, that's all. Hands across the world, from hurt to hope. Knuckles full of scars, still learn to hold. If you got that weight in a fraying rope. Hands across the world, we cope, we cope. Little voices singing over sirens in the street. Ancient wisdom in a whisper in a tree. Every language bending toward a simple truth we seek. We are stronger when the fragile ones can speak. Hands across the world, we reach, we fall. Tiny beating hearts in a giant boat. If you feel alone, just hear this call. Hands across the world, that's all, that's all. Hands across the world, from
for them to have a singular name. It tells you in that thought right there. We're rational. We don't need to put these definitive things, a label, like I'm an addict, he's a cheater, she's a cheater, she's disloyal, he's depressed, he's suicidal. No. You are what you choose to name. And if you don't name it, then it doesn't have to be anything. You are the nothing that was there and came into this world. That's the name that you had. So the nothing is what created everything. Think about it. It's exactly how it's described in the Bible.